Boom! We are live. Guys, I got some good stuff coming in this video. So today we're going to discuss how to quickly get into tech. For myself, I have a tech background. When I went to college, I got a bachelor's in management information systems. So I always get the question if going to college is worth it, especially for technology. Is it worth devoting 4 years of your life to school, maybe even 5 years to get a degree and then to start working to tech? So in this video, we're going to break that down. I'm going to give my insight as a guy that has a bachelor's in technology in the STEM field and also working in the real world in a software company, working with different tech companies, if it's actually worth it to go the college route or just do your own thing and learn on your own. So let me go ahead and pull up the whiteboard. And before I do that, guys, just want to mention, I also get asked the question of all the different credit cards that I use while I'm traveling abroad, when I'm in Mexico and Colombia, different countries. If you need credit cards, if you need anything, any recommendations, I have all my affiliate links in the link in the description below. So you can apply for those credit cards. You'll get a discount if you use that referral code. I also have all the software that I use while I'm making these videos, while I'm traveling, just to stay productive and also secure. So make sure to check that out. Let's go ahead and pull up this whiteboard now so I can show you guys if it's actually worth it to go to college or just do your own thing and learn on your own. So pulling up the whiteboard. All right, guys. So my background is in management information systems. Let me make sure that everyone can see my screen here. All right, we're good to go. So this is my background. Shout out to my alma mater, University of Houston. I did enjoy my time there and I did learn a lot. So I got to shout them out. And this is actually coming from their website. So I studied management information systems. And this degree was in the business school. Shout out to Bauer College of Business. And I was able to take other business classes while I was taking this, while I was trying to get this degree. I also got a double major in marketing and entrepreneurship. But this was like the major that I was really going for when I was in school. And a quick breakdown on MIS is just, management information systems. MIS is a term for computerized information process systems used to manage business operations. Students with an MIS major study how companies and individuals can use systems and generated data in decision-making processes. So I would say that's pretty accurate. That's what you're generally going to see once you graduate and you start working in the real world. And some common positions that they have listed here is you can become a business analyst, a consultant, a data analyst, a developer, IT audit, IT specialist, risk advisory, systems analyst, systems engineer. So when I got out of school, I went straight into becoming a business analyst, consultant, and data analyst. This was kind of what I was doing in my day-to-day in the software company that I was working for. And I really enjoyed it. Like, I think I was really prepared coming out of school with this degree. And here you can see that the top industries that hire for this degree are consulting at 26%. Then there's energy. Since my university was located in Texas, energy is big in Texas and Houston. So we had 19% there, technology 19%, accounting 15%, and other 15%. This could be other industries like startups. Anything else that falls in a different category will fall here. And then financial services. So the average salary starting when you graduate with this degree is $67,709. So I would say that when I graduated, I was around like the 60,000-ish to 65 range. And this is total net income. So this is whatever you're taking after taxes are deducted. So I would say it's less than 67,000. You can probably estimate or predict that you'll be making around like 50 to 60,000 coming out of school. I think that's like a safe ballpark to stay. If you're extra ambitious and you really prove yourself in school and also while you're recruiting, you could probably land a higher position paying job coming out of school. But these are some of the top companies that were hiring when I was about to graduate, which were like Accenture, Alliant Group, yeah, EY, KPMG, Pros, and PwC. A lot of my friends that studied accounting went into these companies, but I went my own route. I went into a startup, which it was like a software startup company, and I think it was the best decision for me because it was more tailored for entrepreneurship. I knew the CEO. I established a good relationship with the CEO, so I learned a lot of the ins and outs of the company. So I think that was the better route for me. But these are some of the companies that are like the top employers for this degree, especially coming out of Houston, out of Texas. And so the question is, how do you quickly get into tech? This is a question that I often get. And I think that the easiest way to get into tech is you can go the 4-year route of going to college, get the MIS degree like I did, but you can also go an alternative route where you can specialize in the skills that you will be learning in college. So one of my biggest gripes, I guess, about college is that the first 2 years you're not really learning what you'll be working in your career. So you will take classes like philosophy, history, a lot of classes that just take up time. If we're completely honest, and they take up a lot of they take up time, they take up money because you're paying for the classes at the end of the day. So that's one of my biggest cons of going to college, that I don't think that there was a lot of classes that I shouldn't have taken. Like it wasn't really worth it taking those classes because they were just taking up my time and it wasn't something that I was going to be pursuing after college. So the best thing here, one thing that I recommend a lot of guys is to look into the Google IT Professional Support Certificate, because this certificate offers a lot of the things that I learned in college, a lot of things that I had to really study and that have served me well graduating from school. I've been able to find it here in the Google IT Professional Support Certificate. I took this certificate when I was just getting out of college, and then I recently took it again just to refresh my memory and like look at the course material. And a lot of that content is accurate. And what's great about this certificate is that it doesn't take you 4 years to get that certificate. You can just go straight into learning IT concepts that are essential once you get into the real world and you start working. So this is probably my biggest recommendation if you want to get into tech fast. Start off with a fundamental IT certificate. It can be this one. There's another one, I think, by CompTIA Plus. It's like the first certificate, which will give you a good foundation of technology, and IT. So guys, at the end of the day, like the biggest priorities that we try to maximize in this channel and also just generally in life is your time, energy, attention, and your money. So the pros of getting the IT certificate instead of going through the college route is that you'll develop a solid tech foundation, a really solid tech foundation that will get your foot in the door, and it will also just give you a great understanding of how tech works in the real world. It's something that you'll most likely see. Everyone uses tech nowadays. You need to be tech savvy, especially navigating in today's environment in 2024. It's just very helpful to understand tech, how passwords work, how encryption works, how emails work, how networks work. This is all very relevant that anyone, it would really benefit anyone to know this information. So this will give you a good solid tech foundation. And the second thing here is that it's also fast and cheap. Remember, guys, we want to maximize our time and money. So this is a great way to really get the ball rolling, understand and study technology quickly. And an estimated completion for this certificate is 6 months at around $49 a month. So that comes into $300 in a total of 6 months. And this is if you take longer, because you can go through these modules faster. If you really double down and you study maybe 2-3 hours a day, you could probably knock this out like in 2 or 3 months. It shouldn't take you that long. So, you'll save $150 and you'll get the information if you really sit down and study all of this content. So if you compare that to college for me was around $4,500 a semester. And that was back in like 2018, 2017. So that's around $1,000 a month for a total of 4 years. And that's if you're lucky, if you finish before if you finish within those 4 years, if it takes you longer, let's say you fail a class or you skip a semester, it might take you up to 5 to 6 years. So you have to be very aware of that. And a total for 1 year for the 4 years of school is $36,000 without room and board. So I stayed on campus maybe one semester, and that was even more expensive. I think that semester came out to like $10,000. So if you take all these things into consideration, again, I studied management information systems, and a lot of the course material that I learned that I started using after school came in the last 2 years of my degree. The first 2 years were pharmacy, history, world history, philosophy, chemistry, all of these general classes that, to be quite honest with you, is like they haven't even served me anymore in the industry. Maybe they were helpful to understand like the general information for those classes, but other than that, they didn't really serve me in my career. So if you take that into consideration, you'll save time. You're not going to school for 4 years, and you can really double down in those 6 months, study the course material, and see what is the field that you like. Because if we take a look at let's go ahead and take a look at the curriculum for the IT certificate program. Let me go ahead and stop sharing this screen, and let's pull up the certificate program so you can kind of take a look, and you'll get a better idea of what to expect when you're taking this course. So let's see here. It should be under, nope. There we go. So here, if you just type in Coursera IT Professional Certificate, you'll find it here. It's the first link here. So a quick breakdown there, you'll be able to see it has a 4.8 rating. It's a beginner level experience. And like I said, I took this course a while back, and it really does have all the content that you will be seeing in the tech industry. So let's go ahead and take a look at the modules, courses. All right, so the first one here, technical support fundamentals. So this kind of shows you like etiquette, how to conduct yourself in a professional environment and technology. It's a great way to just get the basics of tech support. And in anything, man, like whatever you work in, you're always gonna be doing support to some extent. You're working with people. You have to have a positive attitude, and learning these soft skills is just very helpful in other areas of life as well. So you'll get those skills in this fundamental course, the first one. And then after that, it goes into networking, computer networking, which is like your DNS servers, your IP addresses. You'll get a solid understanding of subnetting. So this is very helpful to understand how networks work, VPNs, all that good stuff. And then you go into operating systems and becoming a power user. So this is using Active Directory. While you're administering different computers, you can do quick scripts and pull up information that is relevant for you while you're doing your day-to-day. And also, then we go into system administration and IT infrastructure services. So this would be the basics of cloud computing, also how servers work, storage, hiring outside providers. And then finally, you go into IT security, defense against the digital dark arts. And this goes into cybersecurity. So it gives you a good foundation of how cybersecurity works, how passwords work, how encryption works. So this is like the meat of this course. And I would say that if you really double down, you could probably finish each of these in 2 to 3 weeks. So it does take some time, but the information within these courses is very insightful, and it'll give you a good idea of what to expect once you get into your career. Another very powerful benefit of taking this course is that you'll see what you like and what you don't like. You'll get to try it, see if networking is for you. Like for me personally, man, like networking, subnetting is not for me. That's probably one of my weaknesses, one of my weak points. I think that for me, IT security is probably best. I also like consulting, speaking with clients. That's probably like my strong suit. But you can test it out and you can see what works for you. What are your strengths and your weaknesses? And you can see you can enroll for free. I think they give you like a week for free so you can test it out. So that's a good opportunity to just go through the modules quickly, see what you like and what you don't like. And jumping back to it, Man, was I even sharing my screen? Let me see. I think, let me share this screen again. Yeah, it was up there. All right, cool. I thought for a second that I was not sharing my screen, but yeah, so you can see here, you get all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and remove this whiteboard here. So yeah, guys, that IT certificate is very helpful. And if I really look back in hindsight, I would think that I would have saved a lot more time if I would have just gone through the certificate route, knocked up these certificates, really worked on my personal skills. A great book to also read when it comes to recruiting is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. It gives you a good way of just networking and making connections that are going to be helpful in your career. So let me pull up one more screen here. Let's go back to the whiteboard so I can quickly show you the pros and cons of each of these routes. So let's see here. So we got the Figma board. All right. All right. So jumping down here to the cons. So the cons about the IT certificate course is that it's just very basic tech information. So it'll give you a solid foundation, but it's very general. It's very vast. But that's not a bad thing because you can figure out what you like, and then after that, you can double down and really specialize in that career path. The next thing is that it lacks networking and connection. I would say that this is probably the biggest benefit of going to college is that when you go to college, you're actually sitting in the classes, you're talking to the professors, you're talking to your different classmates, you're making connections from the beginning because, you know, when I remember when I took my first tech classes, like coding classes, started meeting friends because we were going through the same obstacles of coding, of learning loops, methods, arrays, all that good stuff. And you have to make connections so you can solve those problems because, you know, another guy was probably more advanced in this thing. And you just start making connections. And a lot of these connections have stayed with me after college. So having that networking environment is very powerful. So you can leverage those relationships in the future. And also, so you just have a better understanding of the industry as a whole, because a lot of my friends went into different career paths in IT. Some did networking, some went into IT infrastructure, some went into consulting. So it's very helpful to pick their brains every now and then. You have someone that's in that industry. In case you're interested in that industry in the future, you can always pivot and go into it as well. And but if you don't want to go through the college route for this specific key point, you can also join different organizations that focus on your career path. So if you want to go into cybersecurity, there's various organizations that focus on cybersecurity. They might have local meetups in your town, maybe every Thursday, Saturday, and you can get with other cybersecurity professionals, bounce ideas off of each other, and really network and establish that connection as well. So it's not like you have to go to college to establish this, but it is helpful making those connections from the beginning. And the final analysis is that when it comes to your time, if you go through the certificate route, if you take the IT certificate program, you'll save a lot of time because, like we mentioned, you're not going to go through those 4 years of just kind of going through different courses and classes, and you'll save that time, man. You'll just focus on what you really need. You'll figure out what you like, and you'll make a quicker decision of where you really want to take your career path. Energy wise, I think it's you'll save a lot of energy and attention as well because you're strictly focusing on your career path. You're not taking all these irrelevant classes that are not going to help you in your career. And then finally, money. You're really going to maximize your money because if you compare how much college tuition costs compared to taking this first certificate that will give you a better understanding of the IT landscape, you're going to save so much more money in that process. So I would strongly recommend going through the certificate route if you want to save that money as well. And the final thing I want to mention here is that the only thing that I didn't see in that IT certificate program is that it didn't really go too far into coding. And that's something that I had to learn when I was taking my MIS classes. I had to really understand how coding worked, programming, the whole hello world, scripting, all that good stuff. It doesn't really go into that, but there's also great courses that teach you coding. There's coding boot camps that you can take on the side on your own. And the biggest thing here is also that this is also a self-driven endeavor if you want to go through the IT certificate route, because no one's going to be holding your hand. No one's going to be pushing you to go to class. you have to show up every day and actually put in the work yourself. So that I would say that would be the biggest differences. In hindsight, if I knew what I know now, I probably would have gone through the certificate route, or I would have took a lot of my basic core classes in a community college at a cheaper price, knock them out as soon as possible, go straight into the 4-year college, and go into my career path and knock those classes out as soon as possible too. Also, and make those connections. So it really depends. I think you'll save a lot of money if you go through the certificate route. So it is something to really take into consideration. So there you have it, guys. I just wanted to make a quick video on how to get into tech quickly, in case this is something that you're interested in. If you want to work remotely, if you want to go into cybersecurity, IT infrastructure, this is a good way to get your feet wet, see what the industry is about, and really maximize that career path. So if you made it this far into the video, make sure to give us a like. Also, hit that subscribe button. I'll catch you all in the next video. Stay strong, stay relentless, and keep on conquering. You got this. Peace.